I don't know, man. I don't know. I give up. I really do give up. I don't know what to say. I don't. I don't know what to say. I sit here confused in a lucha mask in memory of Rey Mysterio with my signature Atlanta Braves hat on. I am a man of many words, and I have none for this intro to the Monday Night Raw review. Usually I would hype you up and go into Mr. Dips. I don't have anything for Mr. Dips, man. Mr. Dips is closed. Mr. Dips has no more dips for you on this Monday night. I'm a sad individual. I don't know what I watched. I don't. Started off with the murder of Rey Mysterio, and we ended up with Bobby Lashley's BBC. I don't know, man. Monday Night Raw started its season premiere tonight, and we got the new logo unveiled for Monday Night Raw. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Monday Night Raw review right here on Off the Script.
Is this what you want? This fucking foliage? Is this what you want? Mr. Dips? Is this what you want? Me standing in front of EC3 buying designer coats? Is this what you want? Me sitting in some hipster hotel in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, fluffing pillows? Is this what you want? I don't believe this. This graffiti art, hipster hotels, avocado toast. All I want is a fucking Guinness. An ice cold Guinness.
What the hell does that mean?
Oh, this is what you wanted. This is your Monday Night Raw review right here on Off the Script.
Man, I love being right. I absolutely love it. I said it on Friday. When we talked about this week being the most important week in WWE history. I said, don't fall for the hype. I said, don't believe WWE's BS. I said, all they do is get you excited and they end up failing you in the end. Because they got you, and when they got you, they don't know what to do with you. Everybody bought into the hype. And I'm the only one that I know who said, listen, don't believe the shit. Don't fall for the nonsense. The real change is not going to come with a new song, a new graphic, a new intro, pyro, a new commentary team. It's not going to come with any of that. That's not change to me. That's change that should have been changing every single year. Those things don't have anything to do with the overall change in feel and atmosphere of Monday Night Raw. I mentioned the real change is going to come on October 11th, on Friday night, when WWE has their 2019 draft that will conclude on October 14th of Monday Night Raw. You cannot have change with the same players on the field that you did a week ago. You can't have change with the same players on the field with the same coaches coaching them. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. You can give me all the skillet songs you want. You can give me all the pyro that you want. It's not going to change a goddamn thing. And who sat here and said that? I did. I did. And was I right? Absolutely. This Monday Night Raw started off absolutely epic. Epic. I'm like, holy shit, we're getting change. Look at this, the feel of it. It just felt like a Paul Heyman production. It really did. That Brock Lesnar beatdown of Rey Mysterio and his son Dominic was absolutely fantastic. Fantastic. Now, a lot of people don't like Brock Lesnar for whatever reason. You might have this love-hate relationship with Brock Lesnar, but you cannot sit here and tell me that when that man is in that zone, that you can't like him. It is very difficult to pull your head away from that type of carnage. That was murder without absolutely doing anything near the actual act. That was murder as close as you could get without actually killing somebody. And it was great. I loved every second of it. Every second. For the most part, that first hour felt like, wow, 1 hour went by and I'm not bored of Monday Night Raw. 1 hour went by and I didn't reach for the remote control to change the channel. Good thumbs up from me. And we got Michael Cole not on this show. So when Sasha Banks came out, we didn't get It's Boss Time. I'm living the dream. I'm living the dream right now through hour one. Then we got hour two. And the show took a very steep decline. Then we got hour three. I don't know whether I was watching a Brazzers video or I was watching a wrestling show on Monday night. I don't know. This show was the tale of two cities, folks. You can obviously tell when Paul Heyman had the pen, and you can obviously tell when Vince McMahon had the pen. Paul Heyman had the pen in hour one. Vince McMahon had the pen in hour 2 and 3. And that resulted in this being one of the worst season premieres of this. I don't even know how many season premieres Monday Night Raw has had in 27 years. I don't even give a shit. If this is what you call a season premiere, I want a season fucking finale. Or a series finale. Fuck out of here, man. Are you serious with this shit? I don't know how many people at the end of this show are going to be like, oh my God, Monday Night Raw was great. Why don't you lighten up, JD? I don't know. On a week where AEW is bringing the fucking fire with pro wrestling and NXT is bringing the pro wrestling on Wednesday night, here we got Bobby Lashley and his big black cock all over Lana at the end of Monday Night Raw. I swear to God, man, my buddy Jesse said it best. If AEW was on Monday night, man, WWE, oh my, they would be so fucking out of luck if AEW was on Monday night. Seriously. There would be so much flipping the channel after this shit that WWE wouldn't know what to do. It's awful, truly awful. I am downright speechless. I genuinely don't know what to say about this show. That first hour was, okay, we're in good shape here. And then hour 2 and 3, they really amped up. They really amped up to a point where I say it all the time, man. When I tell people what I do and when people are watching me, knowing that I'm watching this shit and they're watching along with me, people who are dear friends to me, and they see this shit, and they know what I do, and they know I have to watch this shit, I feel bad for myself. I don't know who in this company is looking themselves in the eye. Creative team members, Vince and Paul, and the performers in the back. I don't know who's looking at each other here in the back or on the car ride to the next city saying, yeah, man, that was a good show. That was a great Monday Night Raw. What a season premiere, man. We're off to the races. AEW, NXT, SmackDown Live. Monday Night Raw proved to you that they're going to be the worst fucking show on a weekly basis with this garbage that they gave you tonight. I don't know who in their right mind could praise this show. And don't tell me it was a thumbs up show, because Lesnar, Mysterio, and then AJ Styles and Cedric Alexander for the United States Championship doesn't constitute as a good show. It doesn't. That's 2 segments out of a fucking 3-hour show. Spare me. Everybody that was associated with this garbage tonight should absolutely be ashamed of themselves. Ashamed! Monday Night Raw is absolute dog shit. Season premiere. I want a fucking series finale. Let's get into this shit, man. Thank you guys so much for joining me on Off the Script. Get the fuck out of here, man. Throw my fucking phone out of here, man. I hate this show with a goddamn passion. I really do. I really do. This is not wrestling. This is not wrestling. It's a joke. It's a goddamn joke. Follow me on social media, man. At JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications as well. And if you guys missed the schedule I posted on Twitter, this is the new schedule moving forward. Monday Night Raw. I wish I didn't have to, but I have to. Dynamite on Wednesday. NXT on Thursday. SmackDown on Friday. Saturday and Sunday. Off the Script. Parts 1 and 2. We're moving to 2 parts, and no longer will Off the Script be 3 parts. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. Shout out to Sal Rex, who did this beautiful design and who will continue to make the channel look absolutely more glorious than Bobby Roode. So shout out to him. Make sure you guys follow him as well. He is the man for all your graphics needs. Reach out to him on Twitter at SRXGFX. Logos, banners, flyers, thumbnails, album covers, mixtape covers, t-shirt designs, YouTube channel revamps, etc. Hit him up. He's the very best at what he does. Today's podcast is brought to you guys not by Blue Chew. Not by Blue Chew. We're in negotiations for the rest of the year, man. So don't worry about Blue Chew. We'll be back with them. But tonight's podcast is brought to you guys by Audible. Make sure you guys check out Audible. 30 days free and 1 free audiobook of your choice. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Great way to support the show for basically just listening to me rant on this bullshit show, Monday Night Raw. You guys got over 200,000 choices to choose from with that free audiobook, a lot of which are wrestling and sports related, but it doesn't have to be wrestling or sports related. It could be literally everything. They got so much to choose from. And if you guys feel like at the end of the trial that Audible's not for you and you just want to support what I do here on Off the Script, you guys can cancel any time in that 30 days and still get to keep your audiobook for free. Once again, guys, use our link, audibletrial.com/offthescript. Let's start at the top, man. Monday Night Raw, brand new season of Monday Night Raw means a new theme. We finally got a new theme song on this show, and we finally got a video introduction to the show. We got the band Skillet with their song Legendary as the new theme for Monday Night Raw. It fits into the same style of song that we've seen and heard on Monday Night Raw. It's a generic rock anthem. There's really nothing special about it. It's very simple, it's very basic, it's very catchy. It's good enough for the fucking simpletons who don't really know all that much about music. This is the same band that I seen last Tuesday when I was at the Alter Bridge concert at the PlayStation Theater in Times Square, New York City. Had some big, tall, geeky German guy standing behind me, and he's talking to somebody, one of his friends or fellow concert goer, right? And I can't do a German accent, so bear with me. He's like, oh, Skillet. They're going on before Alter Bridge, and their band is very good, and their song Victorious is one of the best songs that I ever heard. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, what the fuck? You're at an Alter Bridge concert where they're headlining, where you know for a fact you're going to be hearing Blackbird with Miles Kennedy's presence, like right above you, and you're telling this fucking idiot in the crowd, oh, Victorious, it's one of the best songs of all time. I'm like, dude, shut up. What are you, a fucking idiot? I just genuinely dislike people. I really do. I really do. It's not even an opinion at that point. It's like the same people who blast me on social media. Oh, Monday Night Raw was good. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It's not even an opinion at that point. You're just proving how much of a lower IQ you have than I do. That's fine. That's fine. You all can't be as smart as I am. Don't worry about it. You'll get there. Anyway, how many people clicked off the fucking video because you think I'm a fucking condescending prick? Anyway, that's the reason why you're here. Don't bullshit me. Monday Night Raw started off with Legendary by Skillet. It's a good song for the show. It's not a good song, but it's a good song for the show. We got the new video package, which is great. I'm glad that the video package has made its illustrious return after all these fucking years. We got Pyro, which is good. The new set. I got bored of the running meme and the running joke of Darby Allin skateboarding. Oh, I wish Darby Allin was on Monday Night Raw. He'd be skateboarding in on his entrance. I heard it once, and that's all I needed to hear. Then everybody else is telling me, oh, Darby Allin. We'll see Darby Allin on Wednesday with the Superior show. Don't worry about Darby Allin. The Monday Night Raw set, it was one big curved screen. Looked like a water slide. Now, my first impressions, which was a terrible first impression because the first thing we seen on this set and on this stage was Rey Mysterio. I thought I was going blind with all the colors just flashing before my eyes, and Rey Mysterio's mask is on the big screen, and Rey Mysterio's mask is on the floor. Got all these blinding lights and colors flashing before me. That was just a terrible representation of the stage and the color scheme of the stage. But when AJ Styles came out and Cedric Alexander came out and everybody else that came out, The Miz and his entrance and the backdrop of his entrance looked fucking fantastic. So it works for some people and it works for them very well. Others, it doesn't work at all. Like Seth Rollins with all that static going on. My God, man, I went blind. I thought I was literally losing my mind. So this stage is not going to fit everybody's entrance. It fits better with the darker colors. AJ was beautiful with the P1 logo and the blue and the black. That was absolutely stunning. The Miz, again, his was probably my favorite all night. So it works good for some. Others, I don't know, man. Go back to Kevin Dunn and hit the fucking the drawing board again, because you guys need definitely lighter color scheme. Those flashy colors, those bright colors, gonna make you lose your mind. I can't imagine what it does to somebody sitting down the aisleway. So if you guys were actually in Phoenix, if you guys were actually at the show, let me know. Commentary. It's another thing I want to talk about. Commentary. Now, Vic Joseph, I've been a big fan of Vic Joseph for a couple of years now. Ever since he started doing 205 Live, I've been a big fan of Vic Joseph. He's gotten a lot better. He was absolutely phenomenal during the NXT Cardiff show takeover for NXT UK. He is the regular voice of NXT UK with Nigel McGuinness. I had no problem with Vic Joseph, and I wasn't really concerned with Vic Joseph as the voice of Monday Night Raw. This is something that I actually wanted the last time we heard Vic Joseph on Monday Night Raw. I never heard Dio Madden. Now, I spelt it wrong on social media. It's not M-A-D-D-E-N like John Madden, but it's M-A-D-D-I-N, Dio Madden. And then Jerry the King Lawler. I said this on Friday, I said this again on Saturday, and again I said it on Sunday. So all 3 days, there was just ongoing reports about the Raw commentary team. This was not a Paul Heyman decision. Jerry Lawler was not a Paul Heyman decision, according to reports. This was a Vince McMahon decision, and then Vince told Jerry the King Lawler he can have the commentary position as long as he wants it. There were reports that WWE was trying out Mickie James on one of the lower-end shows, like Main Event and Superstars. She's going through an injury right now, so they were using her on commentary. I think that they are thinking, well, Renee Young possibly is going to be on SmackDown as a special analyst or special coordinator. And then we got Beth Phoenix on NXT, so they need a female presence on the desk for Monday Night Raw. I stated, and I mean this wholeheartedly, you do not need a female presence. It's okay if you have just Madden and Vic Joseph. You don't need a female presence for the sake of filling in that spot with a female. Jerry the King Lawler. This is not a Paul Heyman decision. Dio Madden was a Paul Heyman decision. And I appreciate the risk that Paul Heyman took by requesting Dio Madden on Monday Night Raw. This is a complete overturn of the Monday Night Raw commentary team. But the thing is, Jerry the King Lawler looked out of place. Jerry the King Lawler got way too much in. I know he's the more experienced of the two. But that doesn't mean I need to hear him oofing and eyeing and, that little yelp he does. I needed him to be scaled down. Because I want to see the interaction with the two guys that are going to be manning this ship, for the most part. Madden and Vic Joseph. Now, again, I don't know what, I know what Vic Joseph could bring to the table, but I don't know what Dio Madden brings to the table. I want to see how the chemistry is between those two. Because with Jerry the King Lawler there, kind of stepping on Madden's toes, there were several instances where Jerry the King Lawler said something that Madden should have been saying, and he took opportunities away from him when he's the one that we need to get used to, not the King. Because the King, reportedly, is a temporary position. So that was my take on that. I've seen some people saying that there's no chemistry between this commentary team. It's week one. It's week one. This commentary team, just because of Vic Joseph in the play-by-play, is much better than what I heard from Michael Cole. That's more my style. Morrow is my style. Vic Joseph is my style. Corey Graves, I mean, he's Corey Graves. He's probably behind Nigel as the best color commentator in the business right now. So he was obviously missed because he's such a strong aspect of the commentary team. But I want to hear more of Dio Madden. So hopefully as the weeks go on, that chemistry starts to flow, it starts to build, and we start hearing more from Dio Madden. Vic Joseph was a little bit nervous. You've seen, a few stumbles on commentary from everybody, really. It was just, the season premiere, they made a big deal about it. This is his first time doing it. He eased into the position very nicely throughout the show. Dio Madden got a little bit more in towards the end of the show in hour 2 and hour 3. He got a little bit more comfortable. I want to start seeing him just get out there and let that personality shine. I'm definitely going to give these guys a chance because I like what I heard on night one. And I want to see that grow and develop into a great commentary team. Because Monday Night Raw has been without a great commentary team for so long. The last time we had great commentary on this show was the Attitude Era with JR and the King. Ever since then, not my style, not my cup of coffee. So hopefully these guys gel and we get them to get better and more comfortable with each other as the weeks go on. This show offered nothing new as far as presentation goes. I don't know what you guys are thinking, but when I see or hear season premiere, it's more than what I just stated here. It's more than a commentary team. It's more than a few new colors. It's more than a new logo or a new entrance or a new stage, a new theme song, new video package at the beginning of the show. It's more than that. They did absolutely nothing else new on this show. No new camera angles, no new way to shoot the show. It looked and felt the same. It looked the same. Nothing new about any other aspect of this show. Now, I don't know what you guys would do, but if I am in charge of this show, I am doing new camera angles and new shots and just giving it a new feel, a more sports-like feel. This was the same Monday Night Raw that we've been watching for all these years with all the basic shit that they usually change with a season premiere. There was nothing new about it. Absolutely nothing new. And again, I have to reiterate for the fucking simpletons out there, how much do you expect to change when the players on the field are the same, being coached by the same people? Change will not happen until October 14th. That's when Monday Night Raw will have a brand new roster. That's when change is. And if the show is being written the same way that it is now with this team, I don't know what to tell you. There's no hope for this fucking show. There's no hope. I have no problem with NXT. I hope SmackDown kills it on Friday. Because you know that they're going to put a lot of resources into making SmackDown as good as it could be every week. Monday Night Raw, it's going to be the weakest show of the three. You can't leave them out to just die. You got to book this show. We deserve a good show on Monday night. This is 3 hours. At 3 hours, we deserve something decent to watch. Tonight was not a good step in that direction. Monday Night Raw opened up with Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio came out, and he entered the ring. Dominic was sitting front row, and this was a terrible night for Rey Mysterio to bring his son to work day. You know how you were in school, and it's like bring your daughter to work day? This is bring your son to work day for Rey Mysterio. And here we are. He's sitting front row. What a joyous occasion, right? What a monumental moment. Dominic gets to see his father in the ring. He's going to see him wrestle Seth Rollins front row for the Universal Championship. But aha! WWE trolled you again! Brock Lesnar comes out after Rey Mysterio says, "I love you, son." And that was it. I love you, son. Yes, I love you. And I'll love you even more on the way to the fucking hospital. Lesnar's music played. Brock and Paul Heyman came out. Rey looked on as this beast was walking towards him. Stood in the ring. Heyman grabbed the microphone from Rey Mysterio. And then Paul Heyman was about to do his introduction, and Rey Mysterio grabbed the microphone out of Paul Heyman's hand before Paul Heyman can do his signature introduction. Then, all of a sudden, we see Lesnar grab Mysterio and gave Rey an immediate F5. So, Lesnar then circled the ring like a shark in an ocean full of blood. He eyed Dominic. He was looking at Dominic. Dominic was standing up as if he was going to do something. And Dominic sat down. Sat in his chair. Lesnar kind of dwarfed him. Went over to the barricade. Started walking away from the barricade. Then all of a sudden, I can't imagine what an innocent bystander was thinking sitting in that area with Dominic. Lesnar lunged into the front row and grabbed him by the collar. And my God, this was like a Rottweiler tearing a human being to shreds. That's what this reminded me of. He grabbed Dominic, tossed him over the barricade. He lifted him. He almost dropped him. I don't know what he was going for, but he muscled Dominic up. Almost lost his grip. He adjusted and then rammed Dominic into the ring post back first. And this looked brutal. You got to give it to Dominic on this. He sold the shit out of Brock Lesnar's attack. So, he went into the steel post back first. He tossed him into the ring, gave him a release German suplex. He then picked up Rey and delivered another F5. Lesnar left. He then came back to the ring, gave Rey an overhead suplex. Heyman yelling at ringside, begging Lesnar to stop. Then another to Dominic, and Lawler yelled out, "Dominic's only a teenager." So I looked up Dominic's age. He's 22. He's no longer a teenager. Mr. Jerry the King Lawler. Lawler said Kofi had to be watching this at home, having second thoughts about Friday's title defense. Lawler said all Brock cares about is inflicting pain and suffering on everybody. So Rey crawled over to check on Dominic at ringside, and Heyman, again, was pleading with Lesnar. At this point, Pat Buck was in the ring, new WWE producer, and then we got Fit Finlay out there. So people are chanting asshole in the arena. Lesnar doesn't give a shit. So he goes over to attack both Fit Finlay and Pat Buck. I think he fucking shoved Pat Buck into the corner and kicked him out of the ring. I think it was Pat Buck, or it was another innocent bystander. I don't know who it was, but somebody got fucking kicked out of the ring. Fit Finlay got tossed out of the ring. And it was just exactly what I mentioned. It was legitimately the act of murder without actually committing the act of murder. This was physicality on a completely different level. And I loved every minute of it, man. I did not turn my head away from this. There was no way I could turn my head away from this. This was fucking fantastic. Now, I don't know why this happened. WWE clearly did this for a reason. Now, I have my reasons, but I'm not sure if they are the right reasons. This gets Brock Lesnar off of Monday Night Raw. There's no way in pro wrestling lingo that you could sit there as upper management on Monday Night Raw and allow Brock Lesnar to come back on this show. So, if the draft is going to happen on the 11th, then Brock Lesnar is getting drafted to SmackDown. There's no way. There's no way that Brock Lesnar shows up on Monday Night Raw ever again. If I'm upper management, I am not allowing this man within fucking 1,000 yards of this of a venue that Monday Night Raw is taking place in. Done. I don't even want him in the same city. So that's number one. Number two, WWE clearly did this as a huge exclamation point on Brock Lesnar showing up on Friday and giving you a tease of what is to come for Kofi Kingston. I don't know. It could be another reason. Or we could see Brock Lesnar go into Friday against Kofi Kingston, lose because of outside interference from Rey Mysterio. I don't know. After this, I would not be Rey Mysterio showing up on Friday having this happen again, because if Lesnar did this before his title match, imagine what Lesnar's going to do to Mysterio if Mysterio fucks him over on Friday. I don't want to be Rey Mysterio if that's the case. And the third thing that I want to mention here is, this all seemed very, very rushed. I don't know why this was done. I don't know why WWE would have hyped a Rey Mysterio Seth Rollins match in the main event of the season premiere of Monday Night Raw for the Universal Championship, and then, all of a sudden, on the same night we're about to get this match, flip the script and not give it to us. Instead, give us Brock Lesnar destroying both Rey Mysterio and his son, leaving us without a Universal Championship match, only to give us a Universal Championship match with Rusev and Seth Rollins. Was this show in dire need of this attack for the sake of that Universal Championship match? I don't think so. After what we got in the ending of this show, was this attack worth it in the beginning of the show? I don't think so. I don't think so. This, I would guarantee you, this was decided upon at the 6 o'clock hour. They had a few hours before this show went live on the USA Network. And just by watching this show and what we got with the rematch after rematch after rematch, this is a season premiere. It's a season of fucking rematches on this show. 3 rematches that we've seen on previous episodes of Monday Night Raw took place tonight. No, 4 rematches. 4 rematches on this show, because they got Styles and Cedric Alexander, which was a rematch of a rematch of a rematch of a tag team match. So this was the season of rematches on Monday Night Raw. It's unreal. It is unreal, this show. I don't know. I don't know why they included this in the beginning of the show. I guarantee you this thing was written at 6 o'clock. Because they had all these rematches, and Paul Heyman's thinking to himself, man, this doesn't feel or look like a season premiere. We got to do something that's really going to kick this show off and really get people talking. And that's when they included the Lesnar beatdown of Rey Mysterio. They sacrificed the Universal Championship for the sake of giving you something to talk about, giving you an epic open, and then killing the rest of the show. Because as long as they had that open, that's all they needed. Because that had you talking for the rest of the night. This was pretty much the same mentality they had with Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley. After that, when they went through the Titantron and had that big explosion right before the 4th of July, remember that? Earlier in the summer? What happened after that show? What happened after that segment on that show? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I would not be surprised if this was added very late into the script, because they knew that they did not have a show worthy of a season premiere. It was great, but risking the rest of the show for it, I don't know if that was the right decision. Because I was excited about Kofi and Brock Lesnar before this attack on Rey Mysterio. I don't know, man. You let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of this and all the probable outcomes that I just brought to you here in the open of the show. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss. We went right into that. This was not even a match. It was pretty much done to set up what happened after the match with Sasha and Becky Lynch going into Hell in a Cell. This one went 5 minutes. Alexa Bliss comes out and she gets pyro. Just want to let you guys know that Alexa Bliss got pyro and AJ Styles did not get pyro later on in the evening. Sasha Banks was in the ring. She made her entrance first, and then she's seen Alexa Bliss get pyro. There was a quick glance of Sasha Banks on camera, giving you the most disgusted look I think I could see that woman ever give. And I'm sure she was thinking the same thing that I'm thinking at home, sitting on my couch, drinking my 32-ounce cup of coffee. What the fuck, man? Are you serious? That was the look Sasha Banks gave. And I don't blame that woman one bit. This one went 5 minutes. This wasn't even a match. There's nothing that happened in this match that is even worthy of talking about. It's Alexa Bliss. She's lucky she's even in the ring with Sasha Banks. Number 1. Number 2, this was done pretty much to set up what Sasha and Becky are going to be doing going into Hell in a Cell. So this one ended very bizarrely. Very bizarrely. Sasha trying to be a heel here. So we had Sasha begging Alexa Bliss to back away. And I'm like, what is she doing? She's begging Alexa Bliss not to attack her. Alexa Bliss couldn't even apply an armbar to a paper bag correctly. And Sasha Banks is, I'm over here looking at this. What is she doing? Seriously. So she's backing away, and then she yells out to Bayley in the crowd. Clearly there was no Bayley. Alexa Bliss looks, and then Sasha Banks kicks her in the knee, rolls her up, hooks the tights, and Sasha Banks wins through nefarious means over Alexa Bliss. Good. Go have yourself a fucking caramel macchiato, Miss Bliss, and get off my TV. Becky Lynch was at ringside. Well, she wasn't at ringside. She was at the commentary table. And she was taping her wrists up during the match. And she was yelling out to Sasha from the commentary table. After the match was over, Becky Lynch got up and ran towards the ring. There was a big brawl between these two. Sasha Banks retreated into the audience. They were mouthing back and forth. And Becky cut a promo on Sasha Banks and pretty much said that whatever's going on now is bringing out that Irish part of her. And now she can stop, or she can't stop rather, even if she wants to, and she's going to make Sasha Banks at Hell in a Cell feel a lot of pain. So she went on to say retribution is coming around, and that was pretty much all she said. And Sasha Banks was like, you're full of shit, you're all talk. And that was pretty much the end of that segment. So I didn't mind this. We got a harmless match with Alexa Bliss. We got Becky going over Sasha here before the pay-per-view. And I'm happy with that because that's a good sign going into Hell in a Cell that Sasha is going to get the one-up over Becky Lynch and hopefully win the championship on Sunday night. Remember, folks, there is a pay-per-view on Sunday night. Charlie Caruso was backstage and Seth Rollins was there. I immediately reached for the remote control, but for some reason I had to listen to this guy burn it down. He says, listen, Chuck, I don't mean to be rude, but all I can think about is what Lesnar did to Rey Mysterio and Dominic. He said this is what Lesnar does, but he's disappointed and disgusted that he crossed a line that you just don't cross. He said he doesn't know how to gameplay for the Fiend, but this title means too much to him to go quietly. He said he'll survive, he'll prevail, and walk out as Universal Champion. No, you won't. No, you won't. You won't do that. And I want to make this very clear. How stupid does Seth Rollins look that he bragged about this Rey Mysterio match, and then Sasha trolled him by taking the same comment he said about Rey Mysterio, and she used that same tweet on a match graphic with Alexa Bliss, and then the match never happened. And then he deleted his Twitter because he couldn't handle the Sasha Banks fan base. So how stupid does Seth Rollins look now? Good. Good. He deserves it. He said, tonight is the season premiere of Monday Night Raw, and they are live in Phoenix. Yes, Seth, thank you for the clarification. He said after Sunday, he's promising Rey a Universal title match. Oh, really? Really now? How can you promise something that you won't have after Sunday night? Dummy. So he's promising Rey a Universal title match. He said he promised the WWE Universe a title shot tonight, and they will get it. He says he doesn't care who it is. Tonight he will burn it down against whomever steps up for the challenge. Now I'm thinking, who could it be? Who could it be? Could it be someone from NXT? Maybe we see a Velveteen Dream debut and step up to challenge Seth Rollins. Maybe it's Adam Cole. Maybe it's Matt Riddle, right? Maybe it's a returning Johnny Mundo, a.k.a. John Morrison, a.k.a. John Hennigan, Johnny Impact, right? That would have been great. Would have been a nice little addition to the show. But no. They left you hanging. They wanted to troll you, and then they wanted to ultimately kill all of your hype regarding this show towards the end of the show on Monday Night Raw. Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler versus Heavy Machinery, a match that really didn't make sense because Heavy Machinery is a SmackDown team. If you guys have not figured that one out yet. Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler beat Heavy Machinery clearly. SmackDown, well, I shouldn't say a SmackDown team is not going to win the Monday Night Raw Tag Team titles because a Monday Night Raw team just won the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles. Nothing makes sense in this universe, folks. Why would I even dare say a SmackDown team wouldn't win the Monday Night Raw Tag Team titles? So Roode and Ziggler win in 12 minutes. I love Otis. I really do. I think Otis is a national treasure. I could watch Otis all night long. I'd rather watch 3 hours of Otis do the fucking worm and gyrate than watch Monday Night Raw. Seriously. This was not bad. This was pretty good. And there was a nice little ending to this match. I wish the crowd would have gotten a little bit more invested when Heavy Machinery was going for the trash compactor because Tucker was about to set up for the trash compactor. Otis had Robert Roode in a slam position. They were getting ready to do their finishing move. Dolph Ziggler comes out of nowhere as the illegal man and saves the day. He gives I think it was a zigzag to Tucker Knight And then that took him out of the match. He then super kicks Otis. And then Robert Roode gives Otis the glorious DDT. And that was the ending of the match. But the crowd, while Heavy Machinery was setting up for the compactor, they didn't really pop for it. They didn't really do anything. That's because Heavy Machinery is not really pushed in the way that they should be pushed. They've been featured. They've been featured a little bit better than most tag teams, but they're not at that point yet where people are really going to pop and jump for their signature moves or pop for them winning. This was a decent match, but it's a match that was pretty much made to get another title match on a show just for the show to feel important. That's all it was. Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler win, and they have no opponents for the pay-per-view, which I can only assume the War Raiders beat the OC in a rematch of a rematch that happened last week. I can only imagine if WWE is going to put more matches on the Hell in the Cell show, that the War Raiders, or the Viking Raiders, are going to be the next challengers in line for the Tag Team Championships on Monday Night Raw. We had The Miz and Miz TV. Miz introduced the season premiere. I don't know how many times we heard season premiere on this show, but I'm not sure if you guys remember. Monday Night Raw tonight was the season premiere. Season premiere. So he introduced Ric Flair as a 16-time world champion, and the Titantron said 17-time world champion. I don't know if you guys caught that. Titantron, or the stage, or the lighting, whatever, the ramp, the new stage, said 17-time world champion. So that was that. So Miz introduced Hogan, and Jimmy Hart came out. They got decent pops. I wasn't popping for these guys. I don't really give a shit. Don't know why they were on this show, but we quickly found out why they were here. Hogan did his signature pose. He cupped the ear. Ric Flair was doing this and fucking strutting down. He was wearing about 16 gold chains. So Miz said, how many times do you get these three legends standing in a WWE ring? Clearly, he was talking about himself. You think he was talking about Jimmy Hart? Of course he wasn't. Jimmy Hart doesn't age, by the way, which is an amazing thing to see. Hogan pointed at Flair, himself, and Jimmy. He knew. Hogan knew. Miz says he was just kidding. Flair told Hogan he's had to listen to that music for 3 decades, and he's tired of it. You're tired of it, Flair. My God. Imagine growing up as a young child watching all these pay-per-views back during the WWF era. And every pay-per-view ended with, I'm a real American. God, I couldn't stand it. Man, that pay-per-view, any pay-per-view that went off the air with Hogan's music playing, man, I wanted to hang myself. I couldn't wait. As I got older, I couldn't wait for him to lose the championship. That's how much I hated it. That's why I was more of a Warrior guy, and then I'm more of a Bret Hart guy, I'm more of a Shawn Michaels guy, I'm more of an Undertaker guy, Mr. Perfect. So back in the day, I was for the younger, smaller guys, instead of the big gargantuans that were on HGH and steroids. That was just me. I was always like that. So, we got Hogan and Flair face-to-face here. And Flair seemed very offended by Hulk Hogan. Miz asked Hogan what it's like looking across the ring staring down at Flair. Hogan stood and gave a shout-out to Phoenix. Hogan said it's great to be in the ring with the greatest of all time and a friend of his. He did a very poor rendition of Ric Flair's Woo. And Miz then tried to direct the conversation to Ric Flair. Flair told Miz he didn't want to be rude and he sat down. Flair said nobody touches him inside the ring. He asked the fans at ringside if they had a problem with him calling himself the greatest of all time. He said he won't take second fiddle to Hogan inside the squared circle, including tonight, with Hogan being in the ring with him on the season premiere of Monday Night Raw. Hogan said it sounds to him like he wants to take one more run at the 24-inch pythons, brother. So Flair stood up, took his jacket off, and told Hogan if he wants the limousine-riding, jet-flying, kiss-stealing son of a gun, then he ran the ropes. He did the signature patting of the elbow, of the shoulders, and then he was about to drop an elbow or a knee, and then he stopped. And then they shook hands, and then they hugged. Says, I'm just playing. Hogan then says they're definitely not spring chickens anymore. Then fans in Phoenix somehow got dumber as this segment went on. They were legitimately chanting for one more match. And then The Miz says that there was a major announcement about to be made. He's like, you guys know what it is. Hogan and Flair know what it is, but we're about to unleash a major announcement right here in Phoenix. And I'm like, oh my God, please no. Please no. Knowing WWE, they would do it. Knowing how much the Prince of Saudi Arabia is paying the WWE, I would not put it past them. I legitimately feared, and I know you guys felt the same way. I absolutely feared for my well-being that The Miz was going to announce Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair one more time in Saudi Arabia. Thank God he did not. But instead, he announces a Team Hogan versus a Team Flair 5-on-5. I don't know if it's an elimination. 5-on-5 tag team match. So it's a big 10-man tag. Now, I don't know what you guys are thinking, but I kind of want to make sense of all this. Now, being that WWE fucked the Survivor Series this year with the wildcard rule, are we not doing Raw versus SmackDown this year? Because if we're not, then I'm okay with this. Because it's a harmless match. It caters to the Saudis. It gets these big names over there because they don't know any better. And it is just whatever. It is what it is. Now, if they are doing the Monday Night Raw vs. SmackDown Live theme at the Survivor Series, this match really doesn't make any sense. And I would hope that they're not, because if they're doing this 10-man tag at the Crown Jewel show on Halloween, which is the scariest night of the year, by the way, folks, the fact that we're getting Crown Jewel is just, the icing on the cake for Halloween Eve and Halloween night. But if they're doing this 10-man tag, they're absolutely going to ruin the Survivor Series if they're thinking about doing Raw vs. SmackDown, because I mentioned on Off the Script this weekend, everybody's thinking, well, Bray Wyatt's going to win the Universal Championship and Brock Lesnar's going to win the WWE Championship. We could get Universal Champion versus WWE Champion, The Fiend versus Brock Lesnar. I'm like, no. You're not going to do that. Brock Lesnar's not going to tap out to the Mandible Claw. WWE's not going to F5 The Fiend. So none of them can lose. That is a lose-lose situation for WWE. I would rather them not do the Monday Night Raw vs. SmackDown Live theme for the Survivor Series. I would absolutely have kept the 5 vs. 5 Raw vs. SmackDown match, but clearly we're getting that at the Crown Jewel show. So what are we going to do for the Survivor Series? It's as if WWE completely forgot, well, we got to appease the Saudis, but they're forgetting that Survivor Series is happening literally 3 weeks after the Crown Jewel show. It doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. So that's exactly what the announcement was. Then Hogan says, what you gonna do when Hulkamania and my team captain run wild on you, brother? Seth Rollins came out. And Seth Rollins, oh my God. I got something to say about Seth Rollins here. Seth said little 5-year-old Seth would kick him in the shins if he didn't accept Hogan's offer to be the team captain for Team Hogan. Seth then says they're gonna burn it down. Flair then says, if it was his turn, is it my turn yet, Hulkster? And then he unleashes Randy Orton as his team captain. Randy Orton made his way to the ring. Orton asked for Seth's 100% undivided attention. Please, Seth, give me your attention and crawl out of Hogan's ass so that you can listen to me. So Orton asks for a woo from Ric Flair. Flair delivered, of course. Orton says they'll pick their teammates in the coming weeks, but since it's the season premiere of Raw, and since they're both standing in the ring, how about a captain's match? Seth was looking for someone to step up, so he's like, all right, let's do it. Meanwhile, you got the whole Miz TV set in the ring. The black mat that is laid out in the ring for Miz TV is still there. You got the ring crew unfolding the fucking black mat. It seems like nobody knew what was going on. Flair and Hogan were still in the ring. It took them about fucking 20 minutes to get out of the ring, right? They're limping up the aisleway. There's no referee. The Miz is standing there like, what the fuck's going on? Jimmy Hart should have got on the megaphone and been like, whoa, what's going on here to the back? And nobody knew what was going on. This was one of the most convoluted, messy, just uncoordinated segments I've seen in recent memory on Monday Night Raw. I don't know what the fuck was going on. I legitimately told everybody that was texting me, what the fuck is going on right now? So Seth challenged Randy Orton. He said, I was looking for someone to step up. So does that mean that Randy Orton's getting the Universal Championship match? Are you fighting Randy Orton now? and then fighting later on in the main event. Like, what is going on here? Nobody knew what was going on. Then all of a sudden, Baron Corbin came out and started to attack Seth Rollins for absolutely no reason. You mean to tell me that we have to see the build for this 5 versus 5 tag team match include a Seth Rollins and Baron Corbin in the ring again? I don't know who thought that was a good idea. Then all of a sudden, Rusev comes out. He saves the day. He gives a shitty Machka kick to Randy Orton, and he saves Seth Rollins from a 2-on-1 beatdown from Randy Orton and Baron Corbin. And that was the segment. Seth Rollins, babyface Seth Rollins, and this burn it down shit, man, is getting more nauseating as the weeks go on. I don't know what it is. I cannot, and I know I'm not the only podcaster in the community that thinks this way. I cannot listen to this man speak as a babyface anymore. This burn it down shit is on levels of cringe that I cannot even fucking fathom at this point. This guy sucks as a babyface promo. I don't know what it is. As a heel, he was brilliant. As a babyface, this guy is downright one of the worst in the WWE. I can't listen to him. I cannot. It's getting to a point where I have to mute the TV every time this guy's on. Never mind the fact that this guy speaks and nothing he says is legitimate. Nothing he says resonates with the crowd. Nobody gives a shit. Now the fact that he is downright unlistenable. Man, that title cannot come off Seth Rollins any quicker. I cannot wait for the Fiend to just end this guy's reign on Sunday night. So Rusev is the one to save Seth Rollins. So we have Rusev, who was, I believe, on his way back to the WWE, this new return, this new look, right? Wasn't he heel? Now he's teaming with a babyface Seth Rollins. And we got Baron Corbin and Randy Orton as two of the members for Flair's team. So we got Rusev backstage being confronted by Charlie Caruso. She congratulated him about joining Team Hogan, then asked where Lana is. He didn't say anything. He remained quiet, didn't say a fucking word. Caruso then said, okay, I won't pry into your personal life. Let's move on. She then asked why he's back on Raw. He said there's really nothing to talk about in regards to the problems that I have at home. He said he was the only person to step up and help Seth as he was being attacked by Randy Orton and Baron Corbin. He said Seth owes him a debt, so he's there to collect. He challenged him to a Universal Championship match, which later, and I mean 5 minutes later, after commercial break, Lawler said that Seth Rollins accepted, and he will defend the Universal Championship against Rusev in the main event of Monday Night Raw. Folks, Rusev just came back, and he beat Mike Kanellis on Monday Night Raw a couple of weeks back. He was introduced after Ricochet was debunked as Maria Kanellis' baby's father, right? In which WWE reached out to Maury Povich for a fucking test, a paternity test, to see who the real father is. And he obliged. So I assume we're getting Maury Povich at the end of this fucking thing. But that's not even the case. Rusev beat Mike Kanellis on Monday Night Raw. That's it. Who else did he beat? He was on SmackDown. He beat somebody. I don't know who it was. It was a jobber. Well, it was a bum. I don't even remember who it was. But he won 2 matches against people who aren't even in discussion to be a WWE employee. Never mind a fucking contender for a championship. This guy beat Mike Kanellis and a bum on SmackDown, and he is willingly being gifted a Universal Championship match. Can someone please explain to me in WWE Creative what Rusev did on this show, on these programs, to earn a Universal Championship match on the season premiere of Monday Night Raw? Did he fuck Maria Kanellis in the ass doggy style? Is that what got him a rematch or a match for the Universal Championship? Did he fuck Maria Kanellis without a condom on? Was everybody in creative giving him high fives after that? So they rewarded him, yes, Rusev deserves! He fucked Maria without a condom on. Is this what happened? Because I'd love to know. This is the season premiere. of Monday Night Raw. That means moving forward, we start doing things differently. So on the season premiere, folks, we're still getting worthless fucking jobbers like Rusev, who unfortunately is a jobber. And WWE has treated him like such. A jobber getting a Universal Championship match on the season premiere of this show, the number one title in the company, by basically doing nothing and being a loser. Just want you guys to know that. So when you sit here and say, well, JD, why are you being negative? Rusev is in this fucking storyline, and they're deeming him a number one contender for the Universal Championship. Oh, it's not meant to be taken seriously. Well, yeah? Okay. Sure. On what show does Rusev get a championship match? Period. None. Awful. Absolutely awful. AOP. Another vignette aired. Eggman and Razor introduced themselves in English, and then they started talking in their native language. I love these promos. I love these video packages. It reminds me very much of the old school. This is what WWE needs to do to start building talent up. I like seeing them in this element. I like the eerie music that they got going on with these video packages. This is awesome. And this is exactly what's going to get a team like this over. The more fans see them, the more they're going to be recognizable, the more fans are going to be invested, and when they're finally on TV, hopefully they get somewhat of a heelish reaction. And don't put them on TV after all this shit is over against fucking local enhancement talent. We know what these guys can do. Again, I have to reiterate, don't do it! Don't! These guys are good enough to be in the division. Give them a solid team to destroy. You know, the Ascension ain't doing anything. I'm just saying. Moving on. Viking Raiders versus Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. You get what you get. You get what you get. I don't even feel sorry for them anymore. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, A, got jobbers entrances. B, are boring. C, are losers. They lost again. They lost again. Viking Raiders win in 11 minutes. This wasn't bad. The match last week was a lot better. This week we got a rematch. Season premiere, you say, right? So it's the season of rematches, apparently. Again, folks, I was right on Friday. Don't expect change with the same players on the same field playing the same positions. This is not change. We've seen this last week. If you think this is a season premiere, you've fallen right into WWE's fucking bullshit trap. Viking Raiders win in 11 minutes. Huge splash by, who I don't know who it was. Was it Ivar? Ivar off the top rope. I gotta call him fucking Ivar. You believe this shit? Ridiculous. Hanson! Clown. Anyway, Charlie Caruso said she's been told neither Ray or Dominic will be returning to Raw. I would hope not. She said Lesnar and Heyman are still in the building and demanding the opportunity to explain their actions. Caruso said most people are calling their actions criminal. I believe so. Again, that was murder. As if Lesnar was just out for cold blood tonight. He committed murder without actually committing the act of murder tonight. I loved it. It was awesome. Absolutely awesome. Too bad it was the only good thing on this show. Outside the United States Championship match, which we'll talk about in a second. So Caruso said most people calling their actions criminal, or his actions criminal. Their actions, I guess you could include Paul Heyman. Cesaro walked in and asked, who cares what people think? He said there's nothing criminal about what Brock did. And I enjoy it, he said. I enjoyed it. I liked it. He said if Ray and Dominic were still around, he'd walk up to them and do the same thing. Oh, really now? Really now? And then in comes Ricochet. He walks in and says Cesaro might be 8 inches taller than Ray, but he isn't half the man Ray is. Cesaro said he is literally twice the size of Ray. Ricochet asked him to prove it inside the ring, and he says, I'll be waiting out there. So I guess we got an impromptu match. Are Ricochet and Cesaro now fighting over Ray's height? Who's bigger than Rey Mysterio? That's what they're fighting over. Then I got some idiot on social media arguing with me. Why am I so negative? Why am I so negative? You're getting Ricochet and Cesaro in a match on Monday Night Raw. They've always killed it. We've seen this 4 times. And each time, the meaning of this match has been at 0. This match has meant nothing in each instance that it's happened on this show. And this is the season premiere. You're okay with rematches on the season premiere? I ask you. I think not. This one went, how long? 3 minutes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Ricochet and Cesaro, they kill it on Monday Night Raw. 3 minutes. 3 minutes this match went. So we got a springboard hurricanrana for the win on Cesaro. Ricochet wins in 3 minutes. WWE doesn't deserve Ricochet, and they certainly don't deserve Cesaro on this show. Seriously. This is awful. Firefly Funhouse. All the puppets are at the beginning here, shaking in fear. These puppets are mirroring me, because I'm shaking in fear at this fucking show into hour 3. So I'm just like Rambling Rabbit. I'm passing out. So all the puppets are shaking. Rambling Rabbit drops dead on the table right there. Bray comes over, starts freaking out, checked on his pulse, found out that he's dead, and he says he's no longer with us. And then he throws Rambling Rabbit away, throws him against the wall. Who gives a shit? Starts laughing. He acted sad, tossed him away, and said, oh well, what's going on, everybody? They said they're scared of what's going to happen to Seth because it'll be so much horror. Bray says it's okay to be scared. And to be honest, he's scared too. He said there's nothing like Hell in a Cell. Imagine a world without chocolate, he tells Huskus the pig. He says there's only Hell in a Cell and there's nothing like it. Imagine a world without chocolate, only worse. So Bray then said, inside Hell in a Cell, it's a place you can enter but never leave without scars. So then we got the Buzzard asking, what's going to happen to Seth? So we got Bray then saying, the Fiend will always protect them and come back. So Mercy asked, what's going to happen to Seth? I'll tell you what's going to happen to Seth, Mercy. Mercy, listen, buddy, Seth Rollins is going to lose the Universal Championship. And if he doesn't, WWE's making a grave error. So hopefully, for your guy's sake, for the Fiend's sake, the Fiend is taking the Firefly Funhouse to places that we haven't seen before with the Universal Championship. So Bray said the Fiend will always protect them and then come back, but he's not sure about Seth. Then we see a little cartoon light bulb show up above Bray Wyatt's head. He says he's going to find the Fiend and ask him to be nice to Seth. He then darted away, and then he came back and returned later, and he laughed and said, just kidding. He said then in a Bray Wyatt really evil, creepy tone, let me in. He then turned back to Smiley Bray, Mr. Rogers Bray, and then waves and starts kissing goodbye and starts waving to everybody. And then he's telling Mercy the Buzzard to start waving goodbye. This is rinse and repeat. It's only going to be rinse and repeat till we get to Hell in a Cell. We got to get the title off Seth. I felt like Bray here, and I know there's been instances and little doses here with Bray and him dipping into the Mankind character when Mankind was fucking, you know, in the fucking depths of the building, in the dungeons of the building, in the boiler rooms. You know, he'd be like rocking back and forth. He'd talk in a nice calm tone, and all of a sudden he'd start pulling his hair out and he gets all fucking evil and maniacal. That's exactly what we're seeing with Bray Wyatt. I love the fact that they are diving into the split personalities of Bray Wyatt. And I love the fact that they're mirroring Mankind. Because I loved Mankind. Mick Foley, as far as characters goes, Mankind was my favorite incarnation of Mick Foley. And I love the fact that they're trying to, at least a little bit, recreate that with Bray Wyatt. It really came out tonight for some reason. I'm thinking back to Mick Foley, and I'm like, man, there's no better person to imitate right now with this Bray Wyatt character than Mick Foley's Mankind. I love it. I really do. Dipping in and out of the fucking calm into the crazy, then you got the Fiend. It's just really great shit, man. I love this character. I love where they're going with it. I don't want it to feel stale. I don't. And WWE is really, I wouldn't say it's at that point, nowhere close, but to do the same thing over and over and over again for the last 3 weeks. I understand you got to build him towards the pay-per-view, but they've really done nothing different with Bray Wyatt, and then they've introduced the Fiend on the last 3 episodes of Monday Night Raw, and he's done the same thing. He's either stalking Seth Rollins, and he's teasing Seth Rollins. Tonight was the first time we finally seen him get the mandible claw on Seth Rollins. And WWE cannot put the Fiend in any position. This is it. This was the go-home show for Hell in a Cell. The WWE could not put the Fiend in any position for Rollins to come back and mount a comeback or get something in on the Fiend. Not going to give him a fucking curb stomp. So WWE is out of options. Their only option now is he walks in And he walks out, does Bray, as the Universal Champion. AJ Styles versus Cedric Alexander, the United States Championship match. This one went 9 minutes. This one started off slow. Not really a lot of investment from the audience. Kind of got there at the end, but I wanted to see these guys go another 5 minutes at least. It's like WWE has these guys in the ring, man. AJ and Cedric, they could kill it on any night. And they haven't gone over 10 minutes yet in any of their matches. It's just ridiculous. It really is. I enjoyed this for the most part. This was another positive on this show in a sea of negative. So we got Cedric losing here in 9 minutes. He tried to go for the lumbar check. That didn't work. Styles slingshot himself over the top rope onto Cedric at ringside. They cut to break. They fought back and forth for several minutes. He went for a lumbar check. Styles eventually caught Cedric with a Styles Clash for the win. And it was clean. 9 minutes, and AJ Styles retains the United States Championship. I don't know what this means, folks. A, Cedric is not getting any more United States Championship matches because this was it. He lost clean, and that is it. The only thing that I could possibly come up with here is that Cedric is not going to be on Monday Night Raw come the draft. It looks like Cedric might be done on Monday Night Raw, and they might be moving Cedric to SmackDown Live. Because I don't know why he wouldn't win the title here unless he gets another match, another rematch at the pay-per-view. I don't know. I really don't know. But from what I could tell here, he doesn't deserve another shot at the United States Championship, and it looks like they're moving him to SmackDown Live. That's the only thing I could come up with. Because he lost clean, he lost in 9 minutes, and that's it. How many more times does he get at the United States Champ? Lacey Evans versus Natalya. I saved myself for the bathroom during this match. I held my urine in for 45 minutes. And then I'm like, there it is. The one match with Lacey Evans on this show versus Natalya. I got up, a nice 5-minute bathroom break. Goodbye. Goodbye. I did not watch one move. I did not watch one maneuver in this match. That's it. Lacey Evans wins. I did see the ending and the replay. Lacey gave Natalya a women's right, and that was after the match. But apparently, Lacey rolled up Natalya, and the commentary team said that, or Jerry the King Lawler said, that Lacey hooked the tights. Meanwhile, Natalya is wearing a fucking one-piece outfit. She has no pants on. It's like a slip-in suit, right? She looks like fucking Catwoman in that suit. Where did she grab the tights? She had a hold of her ass, but she didn't have a hold of the tights. That was pretty much what they said. Oh, Lacey hooked the tights. Really? Not from where I was sitting. After the match, women's right. That's it. And Lacey Evans is still boring. Backstage, we had Sarah Schreiber. And he is Paul Heyman. She was interviewing Paul Heyman. So Paul Heyman said the person to blame here is Vince McMahon. Oh, I blame Vince, all right. He blames Vince McMahon for allowing him to schedule Lesnar on the Raw season premiere when they should have known that Brock is in fight mode. He said there's a lot of wannabe tough guys in WWE outside of WWE and in MMA and in sports and combat sports. And no one can do a goddamn thing about what Lesnar did to Rey and Dominic. Or what he'll do to Kofi this Friday. He said Kofi can thank God every night for the power of positivity and talent, but the devil thanks him because Lesnar lines up the victims like Rey, Dominic, and Kofi. He says it's not a prediction, it's a spoiler. You will hear on Friday on SmackDown your winner and new reigning, defending, undisputed WWE Heavyweight Champion of the world, Brock Lesnar. We can only hope. Now, I didn't mention this before, but it could be a situation where, I did mention this though, Rey could interfere and help Kofi beat Lesnar, which I don't think is going to happen. I think we get Lesnar as the WWE Champion. And maybe Rey gets drafted, because Rey was doing some promotion work for SmackDown. Maybe WWE drafts Rey over to SmackDown. Lesnar wins the title on Friday, and we get Lesnar and Rey Mysterio in a what could very well be a really good big man versus little man match for the WWE Championship. So we'll see what happens, man. I don't know. I don't know what else to think here. Again, was the attack, even though it was epic, was the attack in the beginning of the show worth killing the entire show for. Worth killing what would have been a great match with Rollins and Rey Mysterio if they just did it. They hooked you in. Rollins, Mysterio, I can't wait. First time ever Universal title. This is going to be awesome. They got your attention. They trolled you with that opening epic beatdown with Lesnar and Mysterio, and then they killed the rest of the show. Was it worth it? I don't think so. And after what we got, my God, man, my God. Rollins and Rusev, Universal title. That was pretty much it. Before we got to this match, Sasha Banks cut a promo on Becky and saying that Becky isn't a man. She's not man enough for her. She said she is the blueprint and the standard of the women's division. She said she will make Becky beg and tap out. She said she has Hell in a Cell experience. No man will win on my watch. Or no man will win in my match. Mikaze does, and he's a lucky guy. There you go. Sasha's got to win. So we got a limousine rolling up. A limousine rolled up, and I at this point, I really didn't give a shit who was in the limousine. I swear to God. I wish it was the fucking, I wish it was somebody to shut this shit down. Seriously. That's how bad this show was. Seth Rollins and Rusev, Universal title match. I did not pay attention to anything here. This was a sloppy match. I could not give a shit. I just genuinely couldn't give a shit. Because there's no reason for me to care. I mentioned this already before. What did Rusev do to get a Universal Championship match? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, the Universal Championship match happens. And then, obviously, the limousine's outside. We're all wondering who's in the limousine. And all of a sudden, at the end of the match, we have Bobby Lashley's music hit. And Bobby Lashley makes his return on the season premiere of Monday Night Raw. Comes out to the stage. And he walks out with a smile on his face. I wonder why. Walks out. He does his best imitation of Vanna White 3 times, and they make him look like a fucking fool. Nobody comes out. He's looking out. Corbin and Randy Orton were standing out there for whatever reason. He looks over at them like, what the fuck's going on? They don't know what the fuck's going on. Randy Orton's look was a look of displeasure. Like, what the fuck do I know? I'm just here doing my job. Can't wait to go home and fuck my wife after this. So, he does it again for a 3rd time. And out comes Lana. Lana, Rusev's wife. Lana comes out wearing a very sparkly and glittery short dress. And a tight one at that. And a top that really didn't leave much to the imagination. She looked hot. She looked hot. She goes over to Bobby Lashley and starts making, I swear to God, folks, this is exactly how the show ended. Starts making out with Bobby Lashley. Rusev's looking on. He's just standing there. His wife is making out with another man. And now we have not only Mike Kanellis and Rusev now can join him as 2 what Corey Graves calls beta male cucks. She's just making out with Bobby Lashley. And that's the way the show goes off the air. Actually, no, I'm sorry. That's not the way the show goes off the air. That's the way the show went off for me. Because I said, fuck this shit. I got up and left. And all of a sudden I heard the lights go out. And I heard the screeching and the fucking... And Bray Wyatt's fucking creepy laugh. And I figured that he was attacking Seth Rollins. Because what the fuck does he got to do with Rusev? Right? Gives the mandible claw to Seth Rollins. And that's the way the show goes off the air. I don't know who wrote this shit. I don't. But I put on Twitter 2 things. And this is all I'm going to say about this because I'm getting the fuck out of here. Wednesday cannot come fast enough. In a week where WWE has AEW debuting on TNT, this is what they go off the air with. Now, you could do whatever you want. It's your show. But I could do whatever I want. Whatever I say here is what I'm going to say. This show was an absolute abomination. I don't know who found any enjoyment in this shit. This does not belong on television. It does not. Let alone a season premiere. I don't know what else to tell you guys. I said these 2 things on Twitter. Number 1, Rusev is done. If Rusev needed a fucking out of WWE, this is it. If Rusev did not give his notice to WWE, if Lana did not give her notice to WWE that both of them are gone as their contracts are dwindling down and expiring, I would be shocked. Shocked. Now, if they did give WWE their notice, this is their punishment. They are going to embarrass them and treat them like fucking the embarrassments that they are because they didn't want to resign. Or they did resign and WWE forced them to resign and promised them fucking whatever they did, and they realized, well, they were on Lillian Garcia's podcast not too long ago complaining about the creative direction that we've been giving them. And we'll show them that we can give them a nice little push here. We'll give them some hope, and then when they sign the dotted line, then that's where the punishment's going to come in. That's when we're really going to fucking nail them, right? There you go. Either one of those two things happened. Either they signed, and WWE realized that they went on Lillian Garcia's podcast to complain, and now we're fucking them, or they gave Vince their notice that they're not re-signing, and he's fucking them anyway. And he's going to embarrass them on the way out. Because that's got to be it. There's no other ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't know why you would bring Rusev back for this. This is what he was brought back for. To be treated like a fucking cuck. To be treated like an embarrassment. To be in the middle of a Maria Kanellis, who's the baby's father storyline, while his wife, his real-life wife, is making out with Bobby Lashley to close the season premiere of Monday Night Raw. Folks, what does this say about Seth Rollins' title reign when everybody watching this show rather watch Bobby Lashley fuck Lana than watch Seth Rollins defend the Universal Championship? Yet this is a season premiere of a brand new start for Monday Night Raw. What does it say about Seth Rollins as the Universal Champion when we would rather see Bobby Lashley's BBC in Lana at the end of Monday Night Raw? How many of you fucking pimply-faced geeks were craving and jealous and salty and triggered? How many of you wanted to be and wished you could be Bobby Lashley tonight? For one night in his fucking WWE career, Bobby Lashley is the coolest guy on the roster. And that's not done by design. This is Rusev's punishment. This is Lana's punishment for not signing or telling WWE that they're going to stick around and be troopers. They're gone. And I would not be surprised that they end up in Jacksonville when all is said and done. This show was a complete fucking abomination. If this, and listen, I love Paul Heyman. I think he is a mastermind. I really do. But I don't know how you can have a mastermind like that running this show, and this is the fucking product that you're giving us. That first hour felt like Paul Heyman. Hour 2 and hour 3. Hour 2, what hour did it fall in? The Cedric AJ match felt like Paul Heyman. That was it. After that, Lesnar, Mysterio, Dominic, and then AJ and Cedric Alexander. That felt like Paul Heyman. Everything else felt like Vince McMahon. Everything. This was a season premiere of nothing but rematches. And I know I'm going to get shit on this. I know that people are going to think I'm a negative fucking prick. But I was the only one who stood his fucking ground before this week and said, you know what? You're all falling for the bullshit. Just like the WrestleMania and SummerSlam seasons. This is Monday Night Raw season premiere season, right? Why are you falling for the hype? You got the same fucking roster on this show being written by the same 74-year-old man. You're really expecting fucking change because now they got Skillet as the official theme for Monday Night Raw. Because they got a new set and a new stage and a new commentary team. Meanwhile, you got the same players playing the same positions who need a benching. You need a completely different coaching staff. This is the same coaching staff managing and coaching a losing team that's in dead last in their division. This show fucking sucks. And if you thought that this show was a good show or a good effort for the season premiere, you need to fucking check yourself into a mental institution and never utter the words professional wrestling ever again. You want to watch pro wrestling? You tune into the USA Network. Same time, same channel on the USA Network and watch a real fucking promotion run by a guy who legitimately gives a shit about what the fuck he's putting on television. I'm talking about Triple H and NXT. I feel bad for everybody that's a part of Monday Night Raw. You should all be fucking ashamed. I would be embarrassed to have this show labeled next to my name. Getting the hell out of here. Thank you guys so very much. See you guys right back here tomorrow. We got Off the Script Elite going live. Off the Script is going elite, and we're talking everything all elite wrestling. Major news stories going into AEW Dynamite. Don't miss it. And Destiny on Twitch and on Mixer tomorrow. We're going to be streaming Shadowkeep, so it's going to be awesome. Thank you guys so very much. Hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you right back here for AEW. And then we got AEW Dynamite on Wednesday, folks. Don't worry, Wednesday's almost here. We'll be able to cleanse our fucking palate and wash this terrible taste out of our mouth on Wednesday night with NXT and AEW. See you guys then.